morning of November 6th finds Mike Reed deep in the timber in the heart of his farm. The first deer to show up is the one that Mike is after.
Right. Well, that happened fast. I haven't been set up for 20 minutes, and the deer I figured I'd see and have an opportunity to shoot came walking right up the creek. He is by far the biggest homebody on the farm. I mean, he's on every single camera. Sure enough, it's barely cracking daylight, and I hear a deer walking, and he's just coming right up the creek, and he gave me a 20-yard shot. Of course, Jared and I joke we've made probably 35 or 40 hunts with each other, and it's the second hunt that we self-film, and that's when it happens. It always seems to happen that way, but I'm really happy. I saw him fall over, so he didn't make it by 75, 80 yards or so, and he crashed, and I can see him in the binos over there. So I'm pumped. I've got another tag in my pocket, so I'm not going to rush to get down. He's dead right there. I'm going to sit back and enjoy the rest of the morning and see what we see.
While Mike rides an adrenaline high, 50 miles to the west, I work to rid my day of an old doe that has us pegged. That's the second doe this morning that's caught us in the tree. And the first one, I didn't think that she was going to spot us, but she did. I didn't have a shot after that, but it just creates so much disturbance when they're standing there blowing at you. This morning is just super, super still. So everything just sets them off. Mike's Hoyt Carbon Defiant bow is not only quiet, but lightning fast. His arrow gets to the buck before it has time to react, and this results in the perfect hit. Being able to thread an arrow through small openings can pay off in venison. For whitetail hunting, I like a sturdy arrow weighing roughly 5.5 to 6 grains per pound of your bow's maximum draw force. This produces quiet shooting and good penetration, but still permits a reasonably flat trajectory for shooting through openings. Easton's FMJ arrows fit this requirement perfectly.
The last 2 seasons I've been wearing this Cabela's Lookout fleece. There's a couple things I like about it. The first thing is it's got a form-fitting sleeve, so I have no worries when I'm shooting my bow that the string's going to be hitting that sleeve, but it's also loose fitting enough in the chest that I can layer things throughout the season. That allows me to wear this from the opener all the way to the end of the rut and stay comfortable that whole time. It's also a really durable jacket that I've been wearing the last 2 seasons, and it's held up great through all the elements.
Frigid Forage Plowdown Clover is one of the most revolutionary products they sell. You ideally frost seed this blend of fast-growing clovers during the winter and then mow it down and till it under when preparing to plant big and beastie the next summer. The clover provides much-needed forage for the deer during the summer and much-needed nitrogen for the big and beastie once you plow it down. With one suspicious doe on the ground, another picks us off in the tree. While I'm waiting for my shot, a stout 10-pointer heads straight for the stand.
Here comes another buck down the trail. You better go to him. It's that tight rack 10, that little younger one. Wow, where to start? We had deer running everywhere. The last one to come in was this buck. We've got a lot of trail camera pictures of this deer. He looked a lot bigger in person than what he looked on the trail camera photos. It's actually tempting, to be honest with you, but hopefully Skinny's still out there somewhere and I can keep hunting that deer for a while. You know, if I put my tag on this one, then I'm done. So it's been exciting so far. I mean, 6th of November. A lot of activity.
As I drag the heavy doe out of the woods, Mike Reed gathers his family to share in the adventure of recovering the old buck.
All right, where are we gonna go, girls? To the woods to get the buck.
To the woods.
Get the buck.
You're calling them in? All right, we just got back out here, got the girls. We're gonna go pick up the blood trail and see if they can find it. You guys ready? What are we gonna go do?
We just got back out here. We're gonna follow the blood trail so we can get the deer.
All right, let's go to it. See the ladder going up the tree?
Yeah.
That's where I was, and he was standing right here. Yep, and so when I shot him, you see where I hit him, the hair, cut the hair off? And then he ran up the hill, okay? So let's follow the blood, okay?
Blood, blood.
Good.
Blood.
Blood. What's this? It's my arrow that I shot him with.
I see blood right here, guys.
All right, keep going.
Blood.
Walk on there.
Everyone. Blood. Oh, bloody, bloody, I see him.
Good job. Good job, Bella. Good job tracking him. High five. Sprint. High five.
He doesn't have any blood on him.
You don't see any? Look right here. This is where I shot him. He's kind of stiff, huh?
Yeah, he's a big one. You really wanted to shoot this guy, didn't you? Why?
Yeah, Shorty.
Why did he want to shoot Shorty?
Because he's old grandpa. Let the young ones live.
Hey!
Here, let's put that back in his mouth.
I want to feel his tongue.
You want to feel it?
Yeah.
Feel it.
I want to feel his tongue.
Come feel it.
Not so wet.
There you go. Monkey see, monkey do, huh? This is probably a 4.5-year-old buck. There's a small chance he could be 5.5, but he lives in the center of the farm. This 100-acre central timber is underwent TSI about 10 years ago, and it is thick. It holds a lot of deer, and that's why we've been hunting it so much, because a lot of does bed in there, and these bucks cruise around in there. This morning I hunted on the creek bed, and I noticed a movement pattern last year. They actually like to walk this creek bed. It's a flat, sandy bottom creek, and it's the easiest walking in there, and so the bucks tend to walk up and down, and it's full of tracks. I turned my attention to just hunting some of these management bucks. I've got 4 or 5 of them on the farm, and I wanted to get at least one of them off. This deer was the one I was most likely going to see. I mean, he has always been on the farm. I've had him all through summer. The first buck growing in velvet, he's just never left. He's on every single camera. And I just knew it was a matter of time that we were going to cross paths. So Jared and I actually saw him yesterday morning. We were up on the hilltop and we had a good hunt. We saw quite a few bucks, I think 7 or 8 bucks. They ended up coming into the horns and getting downwind of us, and I never did get a shot. And so this morning I just switched stands, set up a little bit better for this wind we had, and the rest is history. So I've got a tag for the urban zone as well. So if I get the right wind, I've got some mature bucks there. I've got some bucks I've got lots of history with, and be turning my attention to some of those areas as well. So with any luck, we'll get a few more down before the rut's over.
Mike first picked up Shorty on a trail camera located over a trophy rock during the past summer. The buck used the same rock for most of the growing season when minerals are crucial to antler development. Trophy rocks serve 2 important purposes: attract deer to the trail camera and improve overall health of the herd. Mike had several Muddy ProCam 12 trail cameras spread out on the farm. He likes to use video mode because the resulting images are more fun to watch. He managed to get several clips of Shorty throughout the season. The video mode worked great on these cameras, even at night. Mike killed this buck using a fused Cybex sight. Cybex sights have micro adjustment knobs that make sighting in a breeze. The sight also combines the best of a fixed pin sight with the best of a slider for accuracy in every hunting situation. Redneck's fiberglass blinds are their best known models, but the company also makes a soft-sided blind. This model looks similar but is made from camouflage fabric or ghillie material. Soft-sided blinds are also much more affordable than fiberglass and can be elevated or used on the ground. I've been in a number of hunting camps over the years, and hunters rarely argue over which bow or arrow is the best, but it can get pretty heated when the subject of broadheads comes up. Bowhunters have strongly held opinions about what is the most important on this critical part of the equipment puzzle. At Midwest Whitetail, we've been shooting rocket broadheads for as long as we have been in business. For the afternoon hunt, I'm heading to a newsstand near the spot where I pulled daylight photos of Skinny just a few days earlier. As I envision what it would look like to have the giant 10-pointer right below me, working the nearby scrape, 100 miles to the south in Missouri, Korey Wolfe is in a stand on the edge of a doe bedding area.
We got, 2 hours till dark. We're in a spot, we're on the very peak of this ridge. About midway back, we got a field up here. Majority of the bucks are across this ridge going this direction. Got lots of cover. Had some bucks chasing does, a lot of bucks chasing does this morning. There's a pretty good chance a buck's gonna come by some of these thick spots, check for does. So, that's the plan. Sit tight, hope for a big cruising buck. I keep hearing some rubbing down there. Coming in. Meh. 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 Yes! Yes! First time in this tree all year. Thank you, Lord. I mean, that was a gift right there. That was a gift. Really nice 4-year-old buck. November 6th, we're hunting a morning stand in the evening. Thank you for coming, man.
No problem.
I appreciate it. I really do. I really, really appreciate it. That's one we won't forget. That is something.
After the grunt, this buck comes in looking for Korey, but his Realtree extra pattern keeps him hidden as the deer closes the distance. Camo patterns may seem arbitrary, but when the outcome of your season comes down to one close range encounter, every detail counts. That is why we choose Realtree camouflage. There are very few true no-till seeders on the market that focus on the needs of deer managers who are faced with small plots and small tractors. The RTP Genesis fits the bill perfectly with two sizes, a 5-footer and a 7-footer, that both place the seeds at the proper depth without any need for tillage.
When setting up close to buck bedding areas on public land, all of our gear has got to be totally silent. That's why we choose the Muddy Vantage Point tree stand. It has silent straps with no metal-on-metal contact and multiple platform adjustments to fit in just about any tree.
We had good success with the Ozonics HR200, which is still in the line, but their new HR300 model produces up to 45% more ozone. This can be critical in the tree stand on days when the wind is gusting. As Korey climbs down from his stand to check the arrow, I'm caught off guard by a small buck standing in the scrape. Had one buck come past so far. So that's a good sign, because that means they have to be crossing, or at least he was crossing through here. And that's what we're hoping that some other bucks will do yet before this evening is over with. I've got this big field out in front of me here, so hopefully, if nothing else comes by the scrape here or past the end of this point, at least we'll see something crossing further down the field so we can get a fix on what the deer are doing here. My evening ends as a 2-year-old buck works the edge of the field. Back in Missouri, Korey takes up the blood trail. His family joins him in what has become their tradition.
All right, so I brought the tracking crew out. Everybody's really excited to get on this blood trail and see if we can't recover this buck. Not a whole lot.
Whoa,
So it
broke
was-
it.
So that's why we didn't find the arrow. We put a whole bunch of time. Broke the blades off. And he's pretty rough on that arrow.
He got blood right here. He went through the thing.
God.
I found him! Huh? I found him!
Oh.
Right there!
Oh,
Yes.
great job!
Yeah, I just think I can get down there.
Well, he went a little further than we thought, but made a decent shot. I was pretty high in the tree and had a good angle, had a good exit. Had the kids out, Monica and my mom and Chris, and just everybody involved with the track, and just very fitting here on the family farm to shoot an awesome buck. I mean, he's just got points. I mean, this is more points on a buck than I've ever shot. Chris was in the tree with me tonight, and just couldn't get any better. really, really proud of this buck. I just, thank God for giving me the opportunity to pursue such a wonderful animal.
With most of the public land team tagged out, Sean Ferendorf now has all of the best spots to himself, and they didn't disappoint. All across the Midwest, our friends are experiencing great hunts during this classic rut. In Wisconsin, Casey Virgin arrows his top target buck as it chases does right in front of his blind. In Illinois, it is a hot day with an east wind. David Williams and Andy Melton are hunting a redneck blind. As the light begins to fade, a gorgeous 8-pointer makes his way through the food plot, obviously cruising, bent on finding a doe before dark.
Yes. Well.
November 6th was a banner day for our friends. It will be hard to beat what happened today, but I believe the best is still to come. My favorite day of the year is just hours away. As good as the hunting is, there's an equal amount of tension. You know these are the best days, but what if you are in the wrong spot at the right time? You feel the pressure to make every hunt count. It's becoming do or die time for those of us who are still chasing November.